But with that, all right, I'm very happy to host here on this stage a fantastic lineup of people that are changing the world from a smart contract point of view. If you're a panelist and you see your picture up there, please make your way to the crowd. Give them a big round of applause, everyone.
Come a little bit closer to me. I don't want to bite you guys. Come a bit closer at the end. I thought there's going to be more people. No, it's so it's my pleasure to host this panel because it's about layer ones and why do we need more. So the longer I'm in the space, the more a Bitcoin maximalist I am. And we have today 3 different layer ones on stage. Kamal, unfortunately, didn't make the logistics, so instead of 4, we have 3 here. But 3 very interesting ones, and also with diversity, which is important. So I suggest we start with a short introduction of everyone, and then we're coming into questions. Melanie, please introduce yourself.
Yes, hello. Thanks for having me here. And yeah, I'm the founder of, co-founder of PowerChain and the CEO, but I'm also the founder of a SocialFi use case, a SocialFi protocol called One Protocol. And I was actually having the issues this year after scaling from 50,000 transactions to 200,000 transactions with my SocialFi use case to really find the right infrastructure. Looked into all layer 1s, looked into all layer 2s, and obviously everyone is always saying my layer 1 and my solution is better. But at the end, I found an amazing new technology that I truly believe in that has a totally different architecture to all the other ones, and it allows everyone to create a product with no matter what coding language and what infrastructure someone wants to use, and that's the PowerChain.
Thanks, Melanie. Greg, tell us about Sui and you.
Sui, yes, sure. I'm Greg. I'm the MD of Sui Foundation. I'm here to share a few things about the Sui blockchain. It's not another L243, so we are not say layer above some other blockchain. All the team that is in the Sui protocol is former heavy researchers and scientists in the space of crypto and technology. So that's the reason why also we created a new language, which is the Move language. So we make a move towards problems that they are bottom up, which means that we're trying to solve infrastructural problems that exist and not build another layer 1 or 2 or 15 on Ethereum. Because at the end of the day, you will converge into 2 things. Either you converge to so many layers like the 8 billion people we are on Earth, everybody has an L, or you converge to one firm that has all the L1s have been converged to 1, but then you run in exactly the same problems, which is interoperability, scalability, and of course cost, which is huge. So Sui is like an L1 protocol that is trying to solve all these bottom up, and it's trying to do it in a way that the protocol is scalable, and actually you can onboard very easily, not 1 billion, but many billion people with a new technology that we call ZK login. It's very fast. It's an object-oriented approach also, so which means that you have infinite composability, which is very difficult. And the other feature that is, I think, very unique is that you can store almost everything on chain.
You're already answering the first question, so we're staying with the introduction at the moment. Lomesh, please.
Hey everyone, this is Lomesh Dutta. I'm the Vice President of Growth at the DFINITY Foundation. So you just heard from our founder, Dominic. So I've been in the crypto space since about 2016. And I have seen the evolution of Ethereum, all of the things that it went through, like the DeFi summer and so on. And so I joined the Internet Computer Protocol with DFINITY about 2.5 years back. And I was looking for something which is like a complete fundamental rethinking of how like blockchains can do much beyond just like a simple ledger on chain. So as Dominic was talking about, right? So the big picture idea here for us is like, can you extend the blockchain so it can essentially run entirety of humanity's software completely on chain? So it is like done in a trustless manner, and you don't need to rely on firewalls, you don't need to rely on personnel middlemen, and you can just reimagine everything that exists like in the software, not just trading tokens, but basically every software that you run, that's the goal.
Good. So when you are building an ecosystem like Crypto Valley and Crypto Oasis, you meet a lot of people, and nearly every day someone is coming and saying, I have a new layer 1. I built a new protocol. And Melanie came to me, and she's a good friend since many years, and it's about the trust. And I didn't listen, to be very honest. But tell us, why do we need power?
Well, I would say there are many reasons. We were all inspired by Ethereum. But Ethereum it's now nearly 10 years ago that it came out, and it had this idea of this one virtual machine, this one supercomputer that can basically have all the business logic on the planet on it. And we have seen now, after all these years, that this mission and vision yet did not really come through, that we have seen an adoption issue, a scalability issue, a cost issue, and yes, also Ethereum and all the EVM-based projects are trying to solve it. Yeah, there are change of consensus algorithm, change now also of certain toolings and technologies, but overall you need to believe in this one ecosystem, right? And then there was this other technology approach of the parachains, the app chains, the subnets, Avalanche to Polkadot and Cosmos, where they say, no, everyone will be a blockchain. But at the end, no matter at which approach you're looking at, you usually always need to use one coding language, one framework. And I believe that the future of the blockchain is really allowing everyone to build on the blockchain, no matter what framework, no matter what coding language they want to use. So the power chain is mirroring also more like the internet is built, where you can use an Amazon web server, you can use an Alibaba cloud server, whatever you want, you can use it. You can use JavaScript, you can use C++, whatever coding you want to use. And the power chain has come up with this new architecture of external virtual machines, where you can use an EVM-based external virtual machine to build your projects on top, a Move-based virtual machine to build your projects on top, a WASM-based external virtual machine. But you can also come up with a totally new coding language. Let's say you're the military and you have very special security needs. You have created a totally new coding language. You can build your own virtual machine, your product, and immediately plug it into the blockchain and use the blockchain really as your security, your transaction, and your data storage layer.
Thank you, Melanie. Greg, I think Sui is trying something similar, getting more developers in our world, if I understood it right. Can you tell us a bit more how you are tackling that with the former Microsoft team, if I'm right on that?
The team, it's they're all coming from actually DM, but they have like an understanding of big platforms. One thing I want to say is the following: most of the industry is trying to do something like addressing problems that they are only in Web3 world, and this is a few hundreds of thousands of people. What we're trying to do is we're trying to become relevant to the 8 billion people. And this is one thing. The second thing is that, blockchain is not like one shoe fits all. Depending on if you have an understanding of the real world out there, depending on the business case and and the use case, you need different tools, which means that you might use, for example, for some things, Ethereum, because it has like the largest, TVL, you need, transactions, you need something like that. But, if you want to learn to build like a platform that is doing trades and you need throughput, then you need SUI. Why? Because it's super cheap. It's a fraction of a second to do a transaction, and that also can be sponsored. And also, it's very fast. So DFINITY was saying before the presentation, which I loved, we have 250,000 transactions per second. SUI can do 298,000 transactions per second now, without even expanding its capacity, which means that we have you covered. Don't worry. So my point is that we're trying to build a community that understands the technology from the point of view of using it to solve a real-world problem. Why? Because at the end of the day, if we don't become relevant to each and everyone here in their cell phone, so you open your iPhone and you have like three applications. You check your Facebook, you check the weather, and maybe you check your bank account sometimes if you have something inside. So what we want to is on the back of all these applications to be this new stack, which is the SUI stack, which we think is going to be relevant, or any other blockchain stack that's relevant for this application. And I would like to say here that the report that you published is very much to the point, trying to identify exactly which use cases are relevant for which blockchain. And we think that we are very much relevant for everybody that wants to use and onboard end users, which is a very big thing. And not end users in the Web3 world, and end users in the global world, which is our goal.
Thanks, Greg. Probably a quick story to SUI. I remember last year when there was a new financing round from venture capitalists in the US, and SUI and Aptos came, and we looked what's happening over there now again. And a good friend of mine, Hubertus Tonhauser, the former president of TESO, said, Ralf, have a closer look. And it's about trust. If he says, have a closer look, we are having a closer look. So thanks for having you here, Greg. Then Lomesh, I mean, we heard about it. I think the internet computer vision is even a bit bigger. The big differentiation, what I always learn when Dom is talking is, look, not trusting on anyone. There's no AWS, there's no Google Cloud. It's fully in the internet computer. Do you think you can handle that, this complexity, this additional one? Matt?
Absolutely. So let's take an example, right? So yesterday, the whole crypto Twitter was like on fire when MetaMask was essentially pulled out from App Store. Now, MetaMask says it's because of our own mistake, and that may be okay. But basically what that told everyone is that centralized parties, Apple, Google, Chrome Store, they have the power to pull MetaMask out, and then like, what happened to all your assets? Where are all the private keys, right? So the more you rely on these central parties, the more trust you are putting in, which means that there is a potential to censor that by the governments. There are people in those organizations who can kind of screw things up, right? So at the end of the day, we need to, so what Dom presented was this Oasis wallet, right? So this is a prototype where we show how you can own not just smart contracts on internet computer can not only hold ICP, but it can also hold other assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum completely in a browser without downloading anything. So your TPM chips on the phone are the ones where you store your private key, and you can essentially build the entire interface of a wallet, and you can essentially store all assets. So yeah, I don't think that there is any other alternative on how we think about it. It has to go completely decentralized with no intermediary, no centralized party.
Thanks so much. I mean, I believe in complete decentralization. When we look at the market today, probably only Bitcoin is really decentralized. The rest is probably we find Dom and know where he lives. And when Dom is not anymore there, we would have a problem at the moment. But I think you guys are working on that to really get this up
Well, I
and
think,
running.
see, the good part is that, like, internet computer runs completely independent of DOM. If DOM is here or not, internet computer is not going to stop.
Yeah, you know, there's still, not only with Dom, with Vitalik and with other guys around, running blockchains and giving them the hard.
I can promise you that. There is nobody in Switzerland that has an off switch on internet computer.
Good.
it cannot be, like the community has to put in a proposal which needs to be approved by the community before there's anything that can happen on the internet computer. So rest assured.
I'm very happy to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that. Good. Melanie, when we talk about adoption, what do you think what will really drive users in the next phase into our world?
Well, one is we definitely need way better UI UX, and talking about web browser-based mobile use cases and applications, I have barely seen any web-based product that has convinced me in the Web3 space, having a good UI UX and looking good. And that's our big issue. You know, yes, we don't want the centralization from app stores like iOS and Google Play. But on the other hand, the younger generation is used to using apps and not really web apps, web products yet. And the web products, I think our space, the whole space, really needs better UI UX on many levels. Web3 was coming more from a techie crowd rather than from a marketing and a designer crowd, and we need to level up. This is really including everyone here, and I have learned my lessons very hard because of the SocialFi use case, where I'm also the co-founder and also built this product for years. I have seen how hard it is to really create a product that sticks, that has good retention, and that's why I'm also kind of proud to say, okay, we leveled up from 50,000 transactions last year per day to 200,000 this year. And but I also had to pay a lot of money into getting it right, getting the right people on board, the right users, and not just cheap traffic. And with all the airdrops that we have seen in the last couple of years that basically have, all the infrastructure projects had to airdrop a lot of tokens to their communities. And the way the airdrops have worked were just creating a lot of very cheap traffic. And this is not creating user bases that really stick around, that really use the products. And so, getting to adoption besides education, besides regulation, giving the people more security about crypto-based earnings, it's really UI UX and getting it right.
Thanks, Melanie. Greg, where do you see the adoption coming from? Where are you focusing?
That's a very good point, question actually. We're focusing into two parts actually. One is the developers. You have to give to the developers the right tools. And not only the right tools, but also you have to educate them, not that they're uneducated, but you have to show them that, this new stack or this new generation of object-oriented, protocols can solve real problems. And so instead of, learning only Solidity, it might be a good idea to learn also Move. Why? Because you have the tool to develop something that's going to come from where? From the demand side. And this is where we are working also as well, which is what is the demand side? The demand side is all these, platforms, Web2 companies out there that are trying to find solutions to problems that can be solved easily with blockchain, which means that we need also to educate that world and make them understand that, you can actually solve many problems you have on the background, replacing, your Excel with a blockchain or with this new stack. And of course, at the end of the day, honestly, a user shouldn't understand if it's using, blockchain or not. Doesn't matter. The thing is if it does its job. And why I'm saying that? Because, the things that we do every day and actually will explode adoption of blockchain are still happening with technology of the 50s. For example, we pay our bill, utility bill, and the utility bill is coming with a letter in our home, right? And it's not only that, but when you go and you open an account, they ask you to send them a copy of that copy, hard copy, that was sent to you in your mailbox. This is crazy. This whole process could be automated with just a QR code or a very simple, technology that will just, validate the signature of this paper. So what I mean is that this is another huge play all chains have to make, which is move away from, okay, someday adoption will come. No, it will not come. We have to go to them and explain them that, you know, guys, you can solve these problems using protocols. It cannot be, it doesn't have to be Move. It can be, or SUI. It can be any other protocol. Because as I said, blockchain is not one shoe fits all. However, that's a huge play, and we have to make it all of us at the same time and join forces there. Why? Because you know, increasing the pie is it's the best thing for the ecosystem. It's a technology stack call. It's not just, you know, Move against or SUI against some other protocol.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Greg. Lomesh, now you guys, 120 software developers, or not only cryptographs in Switzerland, built in great infrastructure. But where do you see now the adoption? Where are the projects? What is it?
Yeah, so I think I would like to make two comments first. So first of all, I think coming back to what Melanie was saying, right? So like, for example, consumers are, for them, mobile apps are very critical and so on. So make no mistake, I think when we talk about not focusing on centralized parties, we don't mean that you shouldn't be doing mobile apps, right? But we also mean that there should be an option where you have an opportunity that if Apple takes you out of the App Store, that doesn't mean your entire experience is gone. Yes, you should do mobile apps. There are lots of people in our ecosystem that have built mobile apps. Even if you think about like Web 2, right? So think about like a hugely popular service with billions of users like Gmail. There's a mobile interface, there is a mobile app, there is also web experiences, which means that nobody can turn Gmail off. I mean, obviously, it's like practical when I say like a Web3 version of a Gmail off on the side. I think the second thing is like, which is very critical for adoption, is like we need to just stop debating about these transactions per second or consensus models and so on. The end users don't care, right? We just need to abstract everything from them. So the way we measure success, or as an industry, we need to think about, okay, what are the applications that are being built, and how many users are these applications able to bring to the cryptoverse? That has to be the only metric. Everything else we can just keep on debating between 250K transactions and 282K transactions. It's not going to help any one of us.
Thanks, Lomesh. One last question for everyone. What is the target for you and your protocol in the next 24 months? Melanie, what do you want to reach in the next 24 months?
Well, we are kind of the new kid on the block. We just went testnet live. So we are currently getting nicely challenged by everyone. We have created a private Telegram group with more than 400 people just in the last 4 weeks, where amazing founders joined us already, amazing also market makers and smart contract auditors, angels and VCs. We are going more public now in the next upcoming months and looking forward to go mainnet in beginning 2024.
Thank you. Greg, the next 24 months.
The next 24 months, of course, to onboard the next 1 billion users, right? So what else can be the goal? You have to have like a really high North Star. The issue is how you get there, right? So everybody wants that. We have built the technology, so what we want to do is we want the next 24 months to, as I said before, educate both the demand and the supply side that that's the right tool to use, and the supply side, you know, meaning, you know, the large corporates, that you have to start thinking blockchain. Blockchain has to become one of the things that CEOs will have to ask their teams to work on, or the Ereiqats in the world to consult with. If we don't get there, it's very difficult to succeed in our goal. And that's what we want. We want to make relevant blockchain to every CEO stack out there.
That's a good target. Let's work together on that. Lomesh.
Yeah, so I think I'll start with the big picture goal that our vision is to basically bring entirety of humanity's software completely running on chain. So for the 24 months perspective, I have 3 goals. First one is like this concept of open internet services, where services which can be run as DAO, completely controlled by community. So our target is that we need to have these services support at least 100 million users in the next 24 months. The second goal we have is multi-chain, which means that we want top networks like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Internet Computer to seamlessly interoperate with each other. So we want huge like DeFi applications that are leveraging the liquidity and basically the power of these three networks, seamless interoperability. And the third for us is demonstrating very clear enterprise adoption, thanks to, for example, the partnership we announced this morning. So that should be a good start.
Thank you very much. So I think we had a very interesting discussion. Thank you for all the interesting points. I believe in multi-chain, so good to see different ones and not too centralized at the end of the day, that we get out of the old Silicon Valley world. Thank you very much for being here.
Give them a big round of applause. All right, if you want to come in for a picture? Yeah.
Stay here for the picture.
All right, so if you stuck with us in the last hour, you heard about how sustainability and ESG, sustainability, AI, and blockchain are driving forward trust, transparency, and traceability.